Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got a really cute little shaker card featuring a watercolor background in the window and a really easy to create scored card panel. It's kind of hard to see in this light, so let's take a closer look. See those beautiful score lines? I just think it adds so much to this really simple project that has this nice acetate window. So let's take a look at the products. The stamps I'm using today come from the Say It All Friend. This is a really large 6x8 set with lots of scripty sentiments that are larger and then really warm, caring sub-sentiments. It's a really great stamp set. I'm also going to be using some nested heart dies from Simon Says Stamp. This is to create my window. And I've got this cute little confetti mix called Strawberry Shortcake. I really think that's pretty. It's going to look great. I've got some Gina K embossing ink and some white Brutus Monroe powder for embossing. Got my paintbrush here and then a whole selection of Zig markers, and I will have all the colors that I'm using on this project listed below. Kind of been on a Zig kick lately. I'm also going to be using some heat resistant acetate because this stuff is just cool. You can emboss on it and see through it and it will not melt. For cardstock, I have some Strathmore Bristol Smooth, a little Neenah Solar White, and some Gina K Passionate Pink for my card base. And of course a few other things as we go. Now I've been on a kick lately with my zigs and watercolor rainbows and using this Art Impressions palette, which I just think is a really cool tool. Part of why I love it so much is it's easy to mix on, and then when you're ready you just pick it up and take it to the sink, run water over it, and it's clean. It's very easy to work with. And this watercolor rainbow approach, I swear to you, if I did no other type of color background, I'd probably be happy because the Zig markers are so pretty. They dry so bright and everything mixes together beautifully if you work in rainbow order. And I just think it's a really fun way to create backgrounds. You could knock a bunch of these out at once, you know, you just sit and start making rainbows. Who doesn't want a life full of rainbows? Well, some people don't, but I'm in the rainbow camp. All right, I'm going to heat it a little bit with my tool to hasten the drying, and then just flick on some clean water to add a little drop or two or three, and blot it off with a paper towel to create that nice little effect. I'm using a sentiment that will fit inside the heart window that I want to create. And I've already cut down my acetate, and what is that? A little bit of foam tape. It shows up everywhere. Everywhere. It's like glitter. Okay. I'm going to pull this up, and of course the acetate's going to come right with it because, well, it's acetate. But here's the key. When you're using this heat-resistant acetate, you got to powder it up. You got to powder it up because it has so much static naturally. It's going to want to grab embossing powder like crazy. So whether you have an embossing magic bag or an EK Success powder tool, you want to be generous with it because you can wipe it off after the fact. So your embossing ink goes on. I'm going to press that down, not too hard, right? I don't want to smush it. You can kind of see it there in the powder. But now I'm going to add my embossing powder. This is the Alabaster from Brutus Monroe. And the clothespin thing, I learned that from Gina K Designs, but that's not the only thing I learned from Gina. You're gonna see that in a little bit. But it's so nice because then your fingers are never gonna get burned by the heat tool. Now, there is a little powder that's stuck where it shouldn't, but all you need to do, just put it down, get a dry brush, okay? And once you get that heat tool hot, it melts almost instantaneously. It's so fast on this acetate. And I will scrape off a little bit where I didn't want it. But for now for the fun technique, it's not right, well, I guess it's a technique. The Score Buddy is a fantastic tool. Did you know that you can just grab the tool and create your own patterns? I did not know much about the Score Buddy other than the fact that, you know, you can score your cards with it, which is essential. But what I learned from watching my sweet friend Gina K from Gina K Designs, you can create all kinds of texture, and I frickin' love this. Creating a pinstripe background for my card panel is so easy to do. You just go in 1/4 inch increments, flip it, right, to make it easier on the other side, and you create this great texture. And you can keep the deboss side or the emboss side. I don't know which is which, but I like where it dips down. Is that deboss? I think so. I'm going to cut a panel from this scored panel. and then I'm going to cut my heart window out of the same panel. Next, I'm going to take a smaller die, one that is smaller than the heart window panel, to cut out my watercolor piece because I want it to nest and fit perfectly behind. So just lining that up on my Spellbinders machine, and now you can see that will fit perfectly behind the heart window. Once your acetate piece is completely heat set and ready to go, just dust it off, get all that powder off with like a lint-free cloth. I just use an e-cloth. And I'm just cutting a few little notches here so that I can take it to my paper trimmer and then just cut my panel to size in the acetate so it'll fit right behind my window where I want it to go, just like that. I've covered the back with dots of liquid glue. This is Connect glue from Gina K. And then I'll line up the acetate panel in the window. Looks kind of weird because it's in the reverse. And just put a brick on that, gently press down, and let that set up. Now to build the shaker window, here's the thing. There are many ways to build a shaker. I get it. I've done the kind where you take one piece of foam tape and fold it in half. But you know what? I like doing it this way better, and I'll tell you why. Stacking two together and working your way around leaves less sticky parts exposed. Does that make sense? So while this is tedious, it's less sticky on the inside of the tape, and that's good because you don't want your sequins to stick, right, inside your card. And even if you powder it up, I don't want that extra powder inside my shaker window. So this is my approach, to just build it. It took some time. But here's the other thing. I think I put too many sequins in. I usually err on the side of not enough. This one, let's just say no one's going to criticize this card of being stingy on the sequins. I'm going to take all the backers off carefully so that I don't vibrate and send all the sequins flying. And I may be saying that from experience. I'm just placing the back on, and that's the back of my shaker. And look at that. Ah, it's so cute. And you see, you can kind of see how there's maybe too many sequins, but that's okay. That's okay. Scoring the card base, and it's going to be a top folding card, but before I fold it, I thought I want to stamp my sentiment on the inside. And here's a great thing about the MISTI. You can place your scored, unfolded card base inside, add your sentiment. I put another magnet in too. Pick up that sentiment, right? Ink it up. I've got some Memento Tuxedo Black. And the thing that's so great is when you stamp it down, you're going to get, obviously because of the MISTI and even pressure, you're going to get a beautiful impression. But the nice thing is your card base can be hanging out of the MISTI. It doesn't matter. It is not going to bend. It is not going to mar it at all. And so another reason why the MISTI is a great tool, because look at how nice that looks. I'm adding my liquid glue to the back of my shaker panel and then just sliding it into place. And I'll put a brick on that just to let that completely adhere. And that is the finished card project. I really like this project. I like this acetate. I like this shaker card approach, and I really like doing the simple texture using the Score Buddy. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my channel, and don't forget to hit that gray bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.